Tuesdays is known as $2 Tuesdays at WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com, where you can get the hottest handicappers best bet or daily package for only $2.
Welcome in, and a very happy Tuesday to you now. Here it is, the 6th of December, 2022. Wow, a couple more weeks here in the year, and before we know it, 2023 will be upon us, but we've got plenty of NBA action between now and then. Not a ton of games here tonight, just 3, so we'll break them down for you, see if we can find a couple of edges. And we'll do it with the OG crew here on this Tuesday as we welcome back in Ski Prophet in the house, Mr. Tony Finn, and Rob Vino here for you guys. As only 3 games here and a couple of interesting spots, Ski. But what might you have locked and loaded, ready to go on this Tuesday?
Well, so far I've only made 1 play. And I know that's a little bit unusual. We only have 3 games to choose from, though, and not too much to like today. So I will share that with you guys on the show, and we'll see if I can figure out some more angles to play with the rest of the fellas.
Yeah, it's an interesting 3 games for sure here. Did you come up with anything, Tony Finn, that you got locked and loaded up there, ready to roll?
Yeah, I do. I have. I went ahead and combined the 2 for Tuesday. Combined my college, my NBA 2 in the NBA, 3 in college, 1 position on a full game in the NBA, my top player prop, and then 3 sides in college basketball already, locked, loaded only at WagerTalk.
All right, we got some plays ready to go. Vino, anything in the association? Got any football up yet? What are you looking at here?
We had a couple NBAs, Joe. A couple of plays up and available right now. One happens to be a player prop. As you guys have all mentioned, shorter card here tonight. Potential for 1 more. Just waiting. Flip things here. But right now, 2 NBA plays. No football up and available as of yet. Obviously working hard on bowl season. But as we watch this revolving door called the transfer portal, it's hard to tell who's going to be playing in these games and who won't.
Kind of like the NBA. Can't figure out who the hell's playing or not playing here at any given moment. But we will start, of course, with game number 1 tonight in Cleveland as the red-hot L.A. Lakers taking on the Cleveland Cavaliers. Here's a game that's moved a little. Opened up 4 this morning. I'm seeing 5.5 and 6s now in favor of the Cleveland Cavaliers in this one, who got embarrassed by the New York Knicks just a couple of nights ago. Jared Allen, I believe they say, may be coming back here tonight. LeBron is active. I guess we don't have any word one way or the other on Anthony Davis. I will assume he's going, but that may be a big assumption here, Ski. I don't know. Money not going towards the Lakers. Is that shocking given their current form?
Well, it's not just their current form. Cleveland, they've been pretty good too, especially at the house. You know, the last 2 weeks they've won and covered every single game, which is 4-0. So, yeah, I mean, you have a Lakers team playing well. You have Cavs could get their big man back to help defend the paint. The only way I look at this game, you know, I think both of these teams, whoever was catching points would be the way that I look. But you have the Lakers, last 5 game stats tell me they've been a better rebounding team. And if Jared Allen is not in the lineup, that's going to continue again tonight. And the Lakers, believe it or not, the number 1 offensive rated team the last 5 games, and Cleveland is second worst. So they do have an advantage there. Cleveland's advantage is the defensive end. But again, I just think the Lakers have been playing too well right now to not take these points that are given. So lean Lakers, and more so in the first half. That's been the way I've really been getting paid. They've covered, I want to say it's 11 straight. You can correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's 11 straight first halves. So lean Lakers, but no play on this game for me.
I think it was 4 or 5 games that they didn't have Jared Allen. Obviously makes a big difference on the defensive side for Cleveland, but is anybody stopping Anthony Davis anyway? I mean, 99 points the last 2 games? Jeez. What do you think here, Tony Finn? Is it just too much? How do you not back the Lakers and take the points in this spot?
I guess if you were going to be, contrary, if you're going to be the, argue that case or support the case of not supporting the Lakers, you would say, well, they are 8-2 straight up, 8-2 against the spread, or 7-2-1, depends on the number you had in one of those 10 games. You would say, look, over that period of 10 games, they've played 3 teams that have a record of 500 or better. Whatever. Listen, the schedule. It's been a time that the Lakers really needed to step up. That Davis needed to play like Davis they traded for, and LeBron needs to stay on the floor. In this case, with Jared Allen coming back, the Cleveland's been the bouncing ball as well as the Lakers. They haven't been real good recently without Allen, as you mentioned, Joe. 5-game stretch. He took part in the shoot around. I expect him to play. I think the line movement you've seen here is because the Sharps know that Allen's going to be on the floor. When he's on the floor, this Cleveland defense is 7 points better on their net rating. They move 7 points per 100 possessions. I'm not in this game, not on the side. I do like the total, though. I like the total under the number, and you saw it drop a point as the line went up when they announced, or at least when I think and I believe Allen will be active and dressed.
What? How about that number, Vino? I mean, what are we at? 225 right now? 225.5, somewhere in that ballpark here. Boy, that 81-point effort with the Knicks was just mind-blowing here. But they are at home here, so is it just are you looking at the total, or are you looking at a side in this one?
Yeah, it's a tough call here, Joe. I mean, 2 of the last 4 that Cleveland's played, they haven't reached 90. But then in the other 2, they give you 113, 107. But I think the home floor, if you're a technical player, the home floor is huge here. Cleveland 10-1 against the spread at home this season. Average margin of victory, 12.3 points per game. So they don't just win at home. They win by a huge margin. Where the Lakers are concerned here, it has been an interesting turn in their shooting ability. All of a sudden, this team can shoot. I mean, 8 of the last 10 games that the Lakers have played. And I'll use 10 because Tony talked about their last 10 being against weaker opposition, or the majority of it. 8 of the last 10, they've shot 48% or better from the field. Just to put that in some sort of context, they only did that twice in the previous 12 games. So all of a sudden, big turnaround shooting. A lot of that has to do with Anthony Davis being right around the rim, because he certainly hasn't done it from three-point land. It's been all inside the paint, all these monster games. And they had a couple of better shooting performances from other guys. I don't know, with Jared Allen in, does that continue? Not so sure. I think that LeBron coming home to Cleveland is always scary. If you're the Cavaliers, and that would be one thing that might keep me off of Cleveland here, despite the fact that they're 10-1 at home. I think LeBron ready to put on a show at home. Where player props are concerned, I did take a look at Darius Garland, points and assists over the number here, because the Lakers have been pretty weak as far as allowing opposing point guards to score points. Garland off a couple of subpar games. Maybe he bounces back here. Interesting game all around, Joe. I think I could make cases for both sides. I did take a look at the Cleveland team total, but I thought it was a little too far out of reach, 115. I'm not sure they get to 116, although when you look at the Lakers, they've given up 116 or better in 4 of their last 5. So as good as their offense has been, their defense hasn't really been tremendous either. They've just been outscoring weaker opponents. So
it's the LeBron angle is interesting because he's averaging about 26 points a game this year. I think that's what his prop is tonight, point-wise, somewhere around that 25.5, 26.5. But he's been lights out, Ski. The last couple times he's showed up in Cleveland as a Laker, 38, 46, and 32. Are we still looking at motivation for LeBron when it comes to Cleveland? Is that still a thing?
I would think so. Whenever you go home, I mean, you want to put on a show. You see, just to compare it to another player, Terry Rozier, whenever he comes home, he puts on a show too, and I think he's from the same area. So I I would be not opposed to that play. It would only be LeBron up and over, probably even LeBron threes, because all he does is shoot threes now. So
Yeah,
I'm with you.
it's kind of crazy. Yeah, it's an interesting angle here, guys. Welcome home, LeBron. 7:30 tip-off there. We got another one coming up tonight. 7:30 will be the tip-off in Miami as the second of a back-to-back here. Now taking on the Detroit Pistons in this one. Sevens, I think, is what I am seeing here as a number with a total of 220. That's come down from around 8.5 early this morning. And just let me get through the 37 pages of injury here for the Miami Heat. Okay, let's see. That's quite I don't know who the hell's playing for Miami. No idea. Is Butler Nope, Butler is out. So, maybe some dude named, I don't even know who this guy is. Who the hell is Haywood Highsmith, and why do I care if he's probable? Where do you go here, Ski? I mean, it's head-scratching with this Miami team at this point.
Yeah, when you have teams that, just had a game the previous day, you can expect the injury report to look like this and probably expect some guys to sit out. And this is a short-term, short sample trend, but it's just unrested teams versus opponents on the front end of a back-to-back. They are 20-8 to the under, and so they've cashed 7 of the last 8 to the under as well. And just looking at both of these two teams lately, last 5 game stats, they're both bottom 10 in pace, both bottom 10 offensive rated teams, both bottom 10 on the season, 3-point shooting teams, and top 13 defending the 3. So I just don't really see a recipe for a whole lot of offense in this game. I played it under 221.5. I'm sorry, I'm not sure where it is now, but I think it stays under 220.
Yeah, it's under 220 now. I think 219 now, somewhere in that ballpark here on this one. What about it, Finn? Are you going side or total in this one?
I wrote something. I can't remember where I put it, but when I see this injury report, there's no Heat front office associate or personnel associate signing off on it. The coaches aren't. If it's not signed by Bill Belichick, then I think I think they're lying, because this is definitely that kind of an injury. They did play yesterday. Butler's out today. They couldn't make a decision yesterday, Joe, on whether they're going to play Butler in the first or the second. They're going to keep him out. They're not going to play him back to back until he's 100%. So he's out tonight. He could play, but they're just being cautious. This Miami team has been cautious the entire year. I don't think this is just my opinion. It's no information or anything. I've talked to anybody from Miami Heat, nothing like that. But it just appears that Coach P, he's going to just try to make the playoffs. And this, with guys like Lowry, Butler, these guys aren't pups anymore, right? But they can play defense when they want to. Last week when we did the show, we talked about it. Are we on Miami? Are we on Boston? Is Butler playing? All this we talked about, right? And I said that when Butler's on the floor, he doesn't improve the metrics any offensively or defensively. And it's a small sample size this year. However, if they want to play and he inspires them to play defense, they still can. I still trust this Miami team to be really good. I like Hero over the points. That's the only thing I looked at tonight was a Hero, and I believe he'll play. But everybody's probable. Really, you look at Duncan Robinson's probable. Most of them are probable to play tonight, except for Butler. I like Hero over I think it's 23, or they didn't have it up, but I was told it would be about 23. That's what I like over that for Mr. Hero.
So this is, I believe, the 5th game that the Heat have played on a second of a back-to-back. 1-3 thus far, and it's usually because the entire team sits in that second game. No Jimmy Butler, 4-5 on the year without Butler in the lineup here. But even those games they won without Butler, none of them were more than what? 8 points, I think, was the most. So what do you do here? I mean, the number is 7 now. How do you lean towards this game?
I'll make a case for the Miami team total, Joe. I mean, it's dropped from 115.5 to 113.5 to, Ski made a lot of good points about maybe defense in this game, but I'll fade Detroit's defense. I mean, Detroit's defense has been an absolute sieve As of late, they've allowed 41% or better from beyond the arc in their last 3 games. Each one of them, the other team has shot lights out from 3. And if nothing else, where the Miami Heat are concerned, they're coming off a bad offensive performance shooting-wise, and they do have Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, Max Strus, most likely Gabe Vincent, and we even see a question mark next to Victor Oladipo. What we don't see is Jimmy Butler and Kyle Lowry, who totally slows the game down when he's in. So if Kyle Lowry sits, that doesn't bother me a bit. The Pistons on the road this year allow 118.6 per game. That's 5 points more than we need to get home with this team total. And in 10 of the last 14 games Detroit has played, they've given up more than 113 points. So their defense is just, they're a little bit faster paced team this year with a lot of young kids, and they just don't play a heck of a lot of defense. I think Miami comes back off of a bad offensive performance with this many 3-point shooters on the floor. They get a good one here at home off a loss last night. I would have to say over 113.5 Miami team total would be the way I'd look.
Not a bad look at all here, guys. 7:30 Eastern time tip in Miami on that one. We got a late game. We'll head out to Denver and it's the Dallas Mavericks taking on those Denver Nuggets. 5, as this line has been creeping up from 4 earlier today right now. That is where it currently sits, and I believe we've got a total now right around that 222.5. That's come down a little bit, 224s in some spots here today. Talking about the second of a back-to-back. Not exactly a great spot for Dallas. I think they're 0-3-1 against the number in the second game of a back-to-back. I don't know. They've also been terrible on the road, Ski. What do you do with this Dallas team? Can you even trust them in this spot, or is it just Denver or not here?
Hey, they've only won, 2 games so far on the road, 3-7 against the spread, so really not a team I want to back. You already mentioned the rest advantage, and home favorites with that rest advantage win about 72.5% of the time. And this point spread, I think it was around 4. Really, it's just a couple of possessions, just asking them to win. So I do lean towards the Denver side. I wouldn't be surprised if, a couple of bodies got ruled out from this Dallas side. And as far as the total, I don't know if I agree with it moving down. I get that neither team is really playing with pace right now, but you have a Dallas team who's, bottom 10 defending the 3, and Denver's number 2 shooting it. And both teams have them ranked 4th and 6th offensive rated teams the last 5 games. So I think we'll see more points than not. And if I'm playing the side, it is the Nuggets.
Laying it with the Nuggets. Yeah, I don't know. That was a statement win last night, Tony Finn, was it not? Screw you, Phoenix. Yes. We're going to take it to you. It wasn't a great spot for Phoenix, but the reality is that's a lot of energy and effort. Now they got to get on a plane and go to Denver tonight, who I'm still trying to figure out how they lost to 4 guys on the Atlanta Hawks the other night. But tell me, how are you approaching this one here today, Tony?
That's good. Those are all good points. I played against Atlanta Hawks last night with OKC, getting 6 points, and with their injuries, I thought that was an even game. How Denver lost, they haven't been very good away from home either. I'm playing this game like this. It was a pretty emotional game for Dallas. If you watched them play, they were, it's against Phoenix. So what? They beat Phoenix last year, right? They beat up on them, pretty much. And but they don't. There's a big loss there. When Brunson is just, they didn't replace him. How they thought they were going to replace those bench points, even though Brunson basically would start and play next to Doncic. This second rotation for Dallas is when he's off the floor, they're less than pedestrian. They can't score. Ski said it. You've said it. I wouldn't be surprised at all if Doncic didn't start. If they decide, we're just going to take him out. He's been playing for over 40 minutes a game, guys. And when game 80, 75 rolls around and it's time for the playoffs, and you've played 40 minutes a game, even for a young guy like him, it's hard on you. It's hard on you. And I like Denver tonight. I have this one. I have a best bait, kind of a flyer on this game, and I'll explain it. But a lot of it has to do with what you guys have talked about. them not, Dallas not defending the three and getting beat at altitude. So we'll talk about that when it comes up.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we have any more news one way or the other, on Dallas resting or who they might be resting here. But my goodness, it's the spot certainly favors Denver, but is it enough to get you to go there, or are you looking at total?
Well, let me give you head coach Jason Kidd's thoughts on whether or not Luka Doncic is going to play or not. Quote from him: "This is the second of back-to-back. We gave him the fourth quarter off last night to keep him fresh. Hopefully he's ready to go Tuesday." So because of the blowout last night, Luka didn't play intentionally so that they'd have him ready for this. I don't think he'll sit. I think he'll play. How well he plays could be in question because, guys, the matchup, I'll give you some numbers, how he matches up against Aaron Gordon, who Denver has chose to defend him with. When they do play each other. 3 matchups against Aaron Gordon and Denver. And for Luka, it's only been 21.5 points a game, 8.5 rebounds. The assist totals have been a little bit better, 8.6 assists, but the 21.5 points a game are certainly below his season average. So Aaron Gordon, big body, agile enough to obviously not stop him, but contain him. If you're playing PRAs, Luka's usually up around 50. Certainly those 3 numbers don't add up to 50. Ski, this one's for you because I got a Michael Malone quote right here about his bench. Michael Malone, "That unit has struggled most of the year, and I take responsibility for that. Not finding a way to get those guys to play together, to play the right way, and most importantly, just to have some success that comes on the heels of the bench getting outscored 62-18 by the Pelicans the other day." So Denver's had some injuries, and that's been a real reason for it. I think Bones only played like 5 minutes the other night. Last thing, to Dallas, not being able to replace Jalen Brunson's bench scoring or not being able to score. Here's the way I feel. I put it on Twitter this morning. 4 games ago, Jason Kidd made a lineup change. He inserted Tim Hardaway Jr. into the starting lineup. Tim Hardaway Jr. was not making any threes whatsoever. However, the 2 starting forwards, Dorian Finney-Smith and Reggie Bullock, were shooting lousy as well. So he took Hardaway Jr., stuck him in the starting role, took Bullock, put him on the bench. Since then, Dallas has scored 116, 125, 121, 130, and Tim Hardaway Jr.'s, Luka leads the way, but he's the second fiddle here. 51% from 3, scoring 23 points a game. So I think Jason Kidd, it's a small sample size, but I think he found something as far as jarring that offense, waking them up. Tim Hardaway Jr. back in there, and Christian Wood off the bench certainly provides plenty of points off the bench. Being able to bring Bullock in with Maxi Kleber helps their defense off the bench. I like the move here. I think it probably could be high scoring. Denver's certainly going to want to run. And the Nikola Jokic deal here, guys, I mean, him against Dwight Powell, are we serious? I mean, that should be a big night for Jokic. Look back at some of his results against Dallas. He's put up big numbers. Should be some offense both ways here. I think maybe we look over.
All right, looking towards the over in this one here tonight. Couple of early games, one late game there, Denver and Dallas. Now it is time to see if there's a prop or a play these guys like a little more than the rest here with these 3 games. Let's get some best bets out of them, Robert. Two 7:30 tips, 1 10 o'clock Eastern time tips. Ski, start us off. Where are you looking here for a best bet? Which game?
Well, it's going to be the one game that I actually played today. So I know Robert was talking about a lot of reasons why the Pistons game can have a lot of points, but I'm looking at for the Pistons side, they played 3 of their last 4 games where they have a game the next day to the under. And they played a lot of over games this year. So that's telling me, they're not going to leave those guys out there on the floor all night when they know they got to save some energy for the next day. And for this Miami side, I already talked about how I feel when it's a back-to-back for them. I'll give Rob, the lineup, the shooters that they have available, but I just think it's a game where the offense dies out. So unrested teams versus teams on the front end of a back-to-back, like I said before, they've cast 7 of the last 8 to the under, 20 and 8 to the under. If we go back to March, that says to play Detroit and Miami under the 220. I think it's at now. So that's my best bet for today.
Boom! All right, love it. Not a ton of points to be had here tonight. Detroit and Miami. Tony Finn, where are you looking here for a best bet here tonight? Which game are you focusing on?
We're gonna take a little. We're gonna go to Denver. We're gonna take a little degenerate journey. Let's call it a flyer, if you will. Yeah, with the best bet and a big return in Denver. When the Nuggets host the Mavericks, we've talked about. Now, this is quickly. It's a DraftKings quick same-game parlay offering. They're offering, as I've outlined, it's offering a moneyline win by Denver, the Joker, to score 30 and to have 10 assists. And I'm afraid I'm going to go over the 60 seconds, but I'm going to try to get this as quick as I can. In the Joker's 20 games this year, 8 games with double-digit assists, 14 games with 8 or more. In those 20 games, 5 games with 30-plus points. In those 30-plus points, all five of the 30 points that he scored have recorded at least 8 assists or more. All the Joker's 30-plus performances, all of them, 8 assists or more. The Nuggets were 30 and 2 in those 5. Last one happened to be in New Orleans, where they got beat, and they were the only time they were a dog. To the point here, Denver's going to shoot threes. Denver's going to shoot threes. Dallas gives them up. If I can go on and on, I knew I was going to go over the 30%. But listen, Denver on my line. Doncic for 30 points or more and 10 assists, returns 675.
Let me just Will's got that. We'll recap that coming up here. I know Will is playing back the replay there, just trying to catch all of that. But go ahead, Vino. 60 seconds on the board. Is it Embiid getting 8 threes tonight with Harden and 23 assists? Where are you going here tonight?
Yeah, I'll go quick. I'll go quick here, Joe, because by the sounds of that double buzzer, it seems like Robert has to get over to that topless coffee bar real quick and get a little action in. I'm going to go to the Denver game where Tony just went, and I'm going to play player prop with Jamal Murray. I mean, I mentioned it a couple of nights ago, again on Twitter, that Jamal Murray's month of November shows that he may not be the Jamal Murray exactly of a couple of years back, but he's pretty darn close. And he's averaging 23 points a game over the course of his last 5. Tonight, his points total is 19.5. Feel like he can get the 20 against what could be a tired Dallas team by the time second half comes. Hopefully it's not a blowout situation where he comes off the floor, but still he's getting the shot attempts. He's making shots now. He's finding his way to the free throw line 4 or 5 times a game. So give me Jamal Murray, player prop, up and over 19.5 points.
Wow. All right. You don't want to hit that at all there, Rob. Let's remind everyone one more time here what the best bets across the board. Again, only 3 games here tonight. But Ski is going to look at the under here with Detroit and Miami here at 220. Tony Finn found a pretty good same-game parlay in the Denver and Dallas matchup. Says take Denver on the money line while also looking at Jokic to get 30 or more and 10 or more assists. And just about 7-1 on that, which is actually pretty damn feasible there at 7-1. Rob Vino says Jamal Murray over his 19.5 points in this one, as he's really starting to come back into form, and that's good news for Denver. And once again, if you head over to WagerTalk.com, you can visit Ski Profit, Rob Vino, and Tony Finn. You can hop on board right now, I believe. That special they're offering, I believe it's $199 right through the end of the year. Get every play, guys, all access packages across all sports. I mean, let's face it, we got bowl games coming up. We got NFL. We got college hoops. We got NBA. A little something for everybody here. So take advantage, guys. Partner up with Ski. Partner up with Rob Vino and Tony Finn. And let's make it a profitable end of 2022 as we get ready to welcome in 2023. It's just around the corner, which is kind of crazy. All right, the NBA Tippo Show will be back again tomorrow. Full slate in the association. We'll have you covered. Until then, on behalf of Ski, Rob Vino, and Tony Finn, appreciate the time, guys. Best of luck with all your plays tonight. We'll talk to you again tomorrow. Good luck.
Let's finish off 2022 with a bang. First, we'd like to thank everyone as a record number of you took advantage of our Thanksgiving 7-day special. We hope you enjoyed the convenience of getting your favorite handicappers plays daily during the hectic holiday weekend. And we also know that December can be a frenzied month with the holidays and all the sports in play. In the spirit of the season and due to the success of the Thanksgiving special, we are now offering a rest of the calendar year special to get every NFL, college bowl game, NBA, NHL, or any other sport your favorite handicapper releases through December 31st for only $1.99. The early bird really does catch the worm for this special as it starts the day you sign up. No coupon is needed, and you pay only $1.99 today or pay $1.99 in a few days. The choice is simple. Let's have a great ending to 2022.